If you've heard about Power Query but not sure what it is and how it is used, then stay tuned as I am starting this new video series on Power Query where we will see how easily you can learn it and use it to automate your routine tasks. Do watch all the videos of this video series till the end so that you don't miss out anything. Without taking any more time, let's start the video. Hi guys, welcome back to Tech Reflections. I am Vikram and today we are here to go through the introduction of Power Query. We will also see its use with the help of a small example. If you are interested in more such videos, then check them out on this channel. Link is there in the I button at the top right and in the description of this video. So Power Query. First, let's understand who and where you can get this Power Query. So if you are using Excel 2016 or any later version, then you have this Power Query built in, and you'll get this under the Data tab as Get and Transform. But if you are using an older version of Excel, if you are not having an Excel 2016, then also you don't need not have to worry because you can install this as an add-in from the Microsoft website. Now let's start and understand what is Power Query. So Power Query is an ETL tool. Okay, what do we mean by ETL? If you are into data analysis, then you already must be aware of what this ETL is. But for all other people who are not aware of this, let me tell you what is this ETL. So ETL is for extraction, transformation, and loading. So as you can see, it is simply a three-step process, which we can do via this tool. So where we can extract the data, transform the data, and finally load that data in Excel. So let's go one by one. What is extraction? So in extraction, we have different database sources. So you can see we can have data coming from Access database. It can be even Excel workbook. We can get the data from a CSV file, or it can be a text file, a web page, or any other database source like SQL Server, and much more. There are many data sources which can be used here for the data that we want to do analysis on. So in this step in extraction, we will be extracting the data from these databases. Now, once this data is extracted, in the next step, we will transform this data. How transformation is happening is because the data that you will be getting from these different sources may not be in the format which you want for your analysis. So all these changes in the database can be done in this step, where you will transform this unformatted data into a formatted data. So which is readily usable for you for your analysis. So in transformation, we are converting this unformatted to formatted data, and then in the next step, we will be loading this data. So here we have this formatted data that we got after the transformation, and we will load this data into Excel. So all in all, with these three steps, extraction, transformation, and loading, we will get the data from different sources like any databases and any kind of database or Excel sheet or anything, and you get this data in a form which you can use for your analysis, and that data after transformation will be loaded in your Excel sheet. But now here you must be having a question like this is all you must be doing in your day-to-day life, where you are getting data from different sources like different departments, and then you are getting that data in Excel sheet, making the changes, and then doing your analysis. What exactly is Power Query helping us here for? So what happens here is that the transformation actually that you do on your data after extracting the data, all those steps gets automated here. So whenever you will get new data, you will not have to do those steps once again. You just have to refresh your data, and your it just refresh your query and all your data gets refreshed and you have the new data with all those changes that you have done as part of transformation, and you don't have to do it again and again. So this reduce a lot of effort that you are spending maybe every week or every day, whatever is the frequency of your data. But that effort gets reduced a lot with this automation. Now let's go to Excel and see how and where we can find this tool first of all, and how are we going to use it. If you're finding this video useful and interesting, then do like the video and share it with your friends. Also subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon so that you get notified when the next video will be published. And we will get the motivation to bring more such content. Now moving to Excel. In Excel, first of all, where do we find Power Query? So in the data tab, if you click on the data tab on your Excel, so you will get on the ribbon, you will get a group called Get and Transform. This is where the Power Query resides in Excel 2016. And for the older versions, as I told you, that you can install that add-in. If you are facing some issues and you want me to create a video on that, let me know. I'll create a separate video on that, but it should be fairly simple. You can go to Microsoft site and download that Power Query add-in and use it. You might get a little different interface here because in case of 2016, it's under a data tab, but for that add-in, you will get a separate menu item called Power Query. But more or less, the features would be the same. It's just that the placement of those features would be a little different from what you see here right now. Okay, so let's see what is there in Get and Transform. So here we have new query. If you click on new query, you can see that we can get the query from a file. By file here, it means that it can be from a workbook, CSV, XML file, text file, then from a database where we have SQL database, Access database, and all that. And then we have from other sources where you have a web page, or from any other, you can also create a blank query. But just for, and there are other features of like combined queries, and all these you would be, we will discuss all these in the subsequent videos. So for this video, we will just we are introducing the Power Query here. So this is where you will get the Power Query. And just for an example, we'll show you one of the query, and that for today, I've picked it from a web source. Okay, so once you click on that, it will ask you the URL from where you want that data to be picked. So I have already used a website. There is a match going on right now between Zimbabwe and South Africa. So I'll just pick up this link. Why I'm doing so, I'll let you know. Just copy the URL, and then we'll just go back to our this Excel and paste this URL here. We click on OK. Right. So now on your left side, you can see that it has picked up all the tables. So what is happening here is that whenever a data is available on a website in a tabular form, Excel Power Query recognizes this and show it here. So there are like multiple tables on that page for which we have given the URL. So we just need to see which is the actual table we want to work on. And I think it is table 2 or table 3. I think table 3. Yeah, so it's table 3. You can see it's showing all the data here, it is picking up like all the players who are currently batting and everything. And we can now, if you come down, let me bring it to the screen. Yeah, yeah, you can see now that we have 3 buttons here. We have load, transform data, and cancel. So we will not be directly downloading this database, this data set. What we will be doing is we will be doing some transformation steps. So we'll click on transform data from here. Right. Okay. So let me just minimize it a little bit so that it is visible on your screen. Okay, I think it's good enough. Okay, so if you can see from here, this is the interface we have for the Power Query. So on the left side, you see there is a tab for queries. If you click on that, it will show you all the queries that you have, created till now. So here, this query name is by default taken as the table name, which is coming from that website. And here on the middle pane, you have the actual data that is there coming from that website. So on the right side, you have this query settings where you have the name of the query. You can change this. You can put this as match, sorry, match score. So this is the name. After that, if you see just below that, once I've updated, this name also gets updated on the left side also. So when you see here, under that name, there is a pane for applied steps. So this is where all the recording is happening. So whatever steps we are doing, that gets recorded here. So by default, it has already recorded these three steps where it is showing us what is the source of our data, where we have navigated, and is a change type. So these are by default here. Now, let's say if we want this data to be in a little different form, which right now it shows whatever is coming from that website, but we are interested in changing it, so we can simply do that. So for this example, I'm just interested in changing the field, field names, where you can see first one is okay. These are the name of the players. The second one is not a player name, so I'll just double click on it and change it to, let's say, status. You can change it to anything. And in that, see, now it has recorded this renamed columns. And also I do another rename in this third column. It name shows as R. Let me change it to maybe runs. And then on the third column also, I can change it to balls. Okay, so now all these steps are recorded here. So if you can see, all these steps are there. The step that we have done where we have renamed this column names are inside this, and there is a cross just front of it. So what does that mean? That let's say if we feel that whatever we have done is not correct, so we can just click on that and that steps get deleted. So you can see the data is back to what it was, and the change that we did is undone now. But we still want that change, so let me change it once again. And this time let me just change the status and see if that's the only change we wanted to do. Then we can go ahead and load this data back to Excel sheet. But before that, if you see at the top, there is a tab for transform. So all these different options are available where you can transform your data. So in our subsequent videos, we will see all these options and how these are used. So these are very, some of them are very basic. Let's say if I take one of them, the first one you see here is a transpose. You must be aware what does that mean. So by transpose, all the data that is in the row gets converted, moved into a column, and if it is in column, it moves into a row. So that this kind of operation is there in Excel also. So mostly all the operations that you see here, most of them are already there in Excel. The same operations you can do in Power Query also. But in subsequent video, we'll go in detail of these operations and cover mostly all of them. Then for this video, we will just make these changes only, and we'll load this data. So we'll go to the home tab. There's the first button, close and load. So we'll click on close and load, and then further close and load. And now if you see, this query is getting loaded. So if you see quickly, we are getting a score here, and that's the latest score. Let me check if it is the latest one. It says 152 runs on 3 wickets. Let me go back to the tab and see. See, this is the current score which is happening. It is like right now 26 overs are done. So let's see, in our data also it shows as 26 runs. So whenever that size gets updated, now when I say you have automated these things, you don't have to every time go back and load that data, make those changes again, and then come back here to get the fresh data. What you can do here is you can just click anywhere in this table, and then go to design, and there is, sorry, go to data, and here you will get this refresh all. Just click on refresh all, and it will give you the, here the data gets refreshed, this query gets refreshed, and you'll get the latest data here. But let's say if I see here, earlier we had only status updated, but we also want to update run and ball also. So no problem with that. We can just right click on this and go to edit, and it opens that interface once again. And now I can go and make the changes. I can do it runs, and then we make it balls, and again we will close and load this data. Okay, so you see if it gets refreshed, and now we have runs and balls here. And also this data gets refreshed. Earlier it was 26 overs, now it's 26.3 overs. So you can see this is how you can use this Power Query and automate your task, daily tasks, which might be not that easy doing it manually. So this with this you can get that things automated, and it will work for you seamlessly. Drop a comment and let me know what all you want me to cover in this video series on Power Query. This is all we have for today's video. You can check out more videos on Excel, Google Sheet, and PowerPoint on this channel. Link to those videos and playlists will be there in the description of this video. Enjoy them, and I'll see you all in the next video. Till then, stay safe, stay healthy. Goodbye.